Hello, my name is CJ, and before we begin, I would like to thank this video's sponsor, RightStuf. RightStuf recently sent me a $50 gift card to spend however I wanted for this video's haul. RightStuf is not only my top recommendation, but many other manga collectors' top recommendation for manga and anime distribution. I never, ever have to worry about a package that comes in from RightStuf. True story, I once had a package from RightStuf that got left out in the rain, and my manga inside still was fine. It is an awesome company, and I can't recommend them enough. Not only did RightStuf give me a $50 gift code to use, but they also sent me one to give to one of you. In order to earn that, go ahead and click on the link in the description below. That's going to take you to a tweet where I ask you what you're going to include in your upcoming manga haul. Just respond with a tweet of your own, and in those responses, I will select a winner in 2 weeks' time. Best of luck to you. With all that said, let's go ahead and get to the manga. These are the volumes I've picked up for August and September 2020. Let's go ahead and get started. First, with A Bride Story. Beautiful. Seriously, I love A Bride Story. It is so good. This is a continuation of Volume 8, which I talked about last time. This concludes this particular bride's or would-be bride's story. And I really want to read more of this, but this is one of those series where each volume costs like $17, like $12 if you're lucky on Amazon. And it's just, there's not enough content in it to really justify the price, for my opinion. So I'm going to wait for the prices to drop, wait for a sale or something. But I just love A Bride Story so much. It's so beautiful. The art's great. Please support the series if you're interested in not only historical fiction, but just a dang beautiful story. Then we have Delicious in Dungeon, and this was a recommendation from my good friend. Hello, how's it going? You know who you are. So Delicious in Dungeon is basically exactly what it sounds like. It's like a D&D campaign, but they eat the monsters in the dungeon. And this is what I like to call like a foodie manga. There's a lot of manga like this that celebrates food. And I think that's really cool. But for some reason, I'm just not that into it. I personally have a lot of dietary restrictions. So like, I guess I just don't get into this stuff as much as other people do. And it's also kind of episodic. So while I'm willing to give this series another chance, I want to read Volume 2 and see what that's all about. So far, I can see why people like it. It's just kind of not for me. Then we have Volume 6, Omnibus of Jojo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4. I think I said Part 5 on a previous video, and somebody called me out in the comments, and yeah, there you go. Part 4, not Part 5. We ain't in Italy yet. So this covers more of the introduction to Kira. Probably one of the best volumes in the series, in my opinion. Super good. I mean, gosh, I just love Jojo's Bizarre Adventure. Part 4 isn't one of my favorites. It's definitely more episodic than some of the other parts can be, but I love the characters so much. Josuke is probably one of the best JoJos out there. I mean, they're all good in their own way, but he's just so kind and just so likable. My only complaint is that I wish he was, I don't know, I just wish he was like more of the main character. A lot of the big action moments fall on Jotaro instead of Josuke, so that's my only complaint. Then we have Land of the Lustrous Volume 11, the Japanese edition. I love this series so much that I get both of the editions. I'm not going to talk about this one that much because, well, there's already a giant spoiler on the cover, so we're just going to get moving on. But high recommendation. Buy this in English in October. Moving on. Anyway, Love on the Other Side, a short story collection by Nagabe, who is the author of Girl from the Other Side. And while I was super excited to recommend Girl from the Other Side to basically everyone I knew, including my local library, this one is, it's touchy. It's touchy. So it is a short story collection, which means that there are several stories included. Some are amazing, some are creepy. So she has this passion, kind of like how the Land of the Lustrous author, if you read some of her short stories, you can tell that the Land of the Lustrous author has the passion of like things falling apart, which is why the gem people fall apart in Land of the Lustrous. Nagabe has this obsession with like people loving these animal creature things, which is fine from Girl from the Other Side because it's like a teacher-student, parent-daughter relationship, but there are some romantic stuff. And there's some romantic stuff in here, and One of it features like 2 stories minimum, feature kids, and I'm like, oh, that's creepy. I don't like that. Ugh. So while I would say half of the content in this volume is like super, superb, excellent, the other half is kind of creepy. So not a great recommendation for me. Then we have Mancini Ikoku, and wow, this is a blast from the past. So I believe I either rented or had the first volume of Mancini Ikoku. This is one of Rumiko Takahashi's earlier works, and I've been going back trying to dig through her library to check out more of her stuff, because I was a huge fan of her growing up for Inuyasha and Ranma Half. And it's okay. It's not bad, but it's not like the best thing ever. It's definitely not on the same level as Ranma, but it's fun. It's cute. I really like the story. It's definitely wholesome. The thing I really, really like about this volume, though, is the feel. Now, I don't think I can really get this on camera, but it's got like this sort of like papery texture. Oh, I dig my thumb. Hello, Band-Aid. And it's just super, super cool. I love the feel of it. But it's only the texture. It's not the actual material itself. The material is the same as this. It's just got like this surfacey kind of thing to it. And I love it because it's not real paper, which means it's not going to get dirty. And so I don't have to worry about reading it and maybe like spilling something on it or like getting food on it or something weird like that. In fact, like, while I'm not as impressed by the story, I kind of want more just because of how high quality this volume is. Like, Viz, what the heck? This is really good. I feel like I could like, I don't know, just like eat something over this volume. I wouldn't do that, but I feel like I could have like lunch over this volume and not have to worry about it getting dirty, which is super, super cool. So recommend this volume specifically for the quality of it, like the physical quality. Story's really going to be hit or miss. Then we have My Hero Academia, or should I say My Villain Academia, volume 24. And let me just say, this volume has some of the best and some of the worst of My Hero Academia. The villain arc is really hit or miss. So like the arc with Toga and hashtag my favorite character twice, bless his soul. He's basically Deadpool, but written good. I'm just kidding. There's plenty of good Deadpool. Check out the stuff by Daniel Way. But their stories are really, really good. And then some of the other stuff is kind of It's kind of I mean, it's not bad, but it's So, good volume. I'm excited to have it in my classroom shelf, but other than that, Next up, going over here, One Piece Volume 94, it's your boy Wano, you know who it is. Big Mom is awesome, bless Big Mom. Kiku is awesome, bless Kiku. Bless everyone, bless this volume, bless, bless, bless. But really, I mean, it's One Piece. You guys know the drill. One Piece is awesome. If you can stomach 94 volumes, get it. Next we have Soul Eater Volume 7. This one's a bit of an oddball because I bought this one purely because I was like, oh, is there any Soul Eater that's cheap online right now? Yes, there is. I will buy that. I know that there are hardcover volumes coming out for Soul Eater, and if they haven't come out already, they're coming out very, very soon, but I'm going to be real. I'm kind of strapped for money, you know? When I am going to buy a volume, I'm going to make it meaningful, and nah, I'm okay. Like, I love Soul Eater to death. I think the art is super unique and fun, but I'm just not really looking into getting a bunch of really expensive hardcovers. So, my hope is that the hardcovers make these cheaper paperbacks even more cheap. We can only hope and pray. This was originally published by Yen Press, and Yen Press is notorious for really expensive volumes. We can only wait and see. Next, we have my second highest recommendation after Land of the Lustrous, Spy X Family Volume 2. And trust me, again, when I say this, when this gets an anime, you are going to see Spy X Family explode in popularity. Hear me right now. I've seen this a million times. You're going to see this with Chainsaw Man, which the first volume is coming out next month. I'm super excited about that. And you're also going to see this with Spy X Family. This series rocks. Again, too long didn't read version. A spy needs to infiltrate an orphanage. He needs to adopt a school. He needs to adopt an orphan in order to get into the school. In order to have an orphan, he needs to have a wife. So he gets legally married to this lady who he doesn't know is an assassin. She doesn't know he's a spy, and they don't know that their daughter is psychic. And it is hilarious. It is a really great time. It's just as funny as it sounds. So highest recommendation for me. Super, super excited to eventually put this on my classroom shelf. Then we have To Your Eternity, Volume 12, and I think of that song like Sweet Child of Mine, where the guy's like, where do we go now, right? Like, 'cause, seriously, where do we go now? Where do we go? at the end of the volume, they're like, okay, I guess we'll start part 2 in the next volume. And it's like, wait, what, dude? What? So I really enjoyed To Your Eternity. I think that I'm going to look back on this and be like, you know what? It wasn't as good as the author's other series, A Silent Voice, but it was fun for the ride. I don't know what I'm going to think about part 2, though. I kind of feel like this manga's done. You get to the end of this volume, you're like, yep, it's done. But no, apparently it's not. That'll be interesting to see where things go from here. Next, we have the first of the RightStuf haul, Urisai Yatsura. And I should probably clarify, with my RightStuf haul, I bought this volume and these 2 volumes of Vindeland Saga, and then I just added on Delicious in Dungeon with my own money because of that delicious free shipping that RightStuf has. I had to take advantage of it. But anyway, this volume is kind of similar to Mansini Koku. It's one of Rumiko Takahashi's earlier works, and I was really, really looking forward to this one. I mean, really looking forward to this one because I've seen a lot of art of this character, and so I was like, all right, finally, we're going to dig into it, we're going to figure out what this is all about, and it's basically like beta Ranma half. Gonna be real. It feels like a mixture of Mansini Koku, Ranma half. It's basically about this guy who's randomly selected to be Earth's representative, and he has to play a game of tag with this character, and if he wins, then he gets to marry her, but if he loses, then Earth is conquered by these ogre people, and it's very strange, but it's basically a love triangle between him, the alien girl, and his childhood friend. It's Ranma. I mean, that's what it is. But I don't want to hold it back too much and be like, oh, this stinks, because it doesn't. It's really just a victim of its age. That's all it is. But if you're like me and you wanted to own a piece of manga history, you wanted to have all that sweet Rumiko Takahashi in your collection, then this was definitely a must for me. And it would be a must for you if that's the case. So, also suffers a bit from Viz spine syndrome. You can see here the spine is leaking onto the front cover. Although, I will give credit to Viz. I'm pretty sure this was an older printed volume because my issue of My Hero Academia and my issue of One Piece both have excellent spines. So, keep it up, Viz. Keep it up. Next we have Sailor Moon, Volume 9. Behold, Volume 9 of the Eternal Edition of Sailor Moon. Behold the sparklies. Behold the excellent content within. As I said many times on this channel, and I'll say it many times again, this is the best Sailor Moon has to offer. Volume 9 of the Eternal Edition, Volume 11 of the previous edition by Kodansha starts the Stars arc, and Stars is beautiful. It is a thing of majesty. I cannot say this enough. It's my favorite that manga has to offer in general. It is so good. So if you are curious about Sailor Moon and you're like, I watched the anime as a kid, I'm curious what the manga's like, literally just start here. I'm not even kidding. Just start with here or with Volume 11 of the cheaper edition. It's so good. It's so good. I can't say this enough. And not only that, I mean, the Eternal Edition is so excellent. If you pre-order them, which kind of too late to say that now, but if you pre-order them, you can get them at a relatively cheap price. I think I got this one for like $21 or $22. Normally they're like $30, which, ouch. But you do get full color pages and all of that, so in my opinion, if you're a Sailor Moon fan, it's definitely worth it. Oh, bless Stars. Stars is so good. Please, 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 please make more Sailor Galaxia merchandise. I'm begging you. I'm begging you, Toei. I'm begging you, whoever's in charge of that. Do it! Sailor Galaxia is so cool. But anyway, enough of me ranting about Sailor Moon. Let us move on to more mangoes. So we have Wave Listen to Me, which this volume, and well, the preceding volumes, holds a special place in my heart because I've worked with radio before, and so a lot of the stuff they talk about I'm very, very familiar with. This is a very fun manga, and it's refreshing to read about a protagonist that isn't a teenager. Not that there's anything wrong with teenage protagonists, but it's just refreshing to read about problems that I can relate to a little bit more. So again, another excellent volume. I just love the art. I think that these dialogue bubbles on the volumes are kind of an interesting choice. I'm not sure if they were there in the Japanese version, but yeah, again, kind of interesting choice. Next we have Witch Hat Adelaide. That's how you pronounce it, by the way. It's a French word. I didn't know that. So it's Witch Hat Adelaide. And again, another fantastic volume of the series. This has some of the most beautiful art I've ever seen in manga. Seriously, and I try not to be like, everyone must own a certain series, but if you were a fan of manga art, pick this up. Oh my gosh, please pick this up. If you read manga for the art, you're kidding yourself if you don't read Witch Hat Adelaide. Trust me, it's gorgeous. absolutely gorgeous. Story, in my opinion, it's not the best. I mean, it's not bad by any means. It's good. But, I mean, read this for the art. Check it out for the art. And then we have the real good stuff from my RightStuf haul. Oh, Vindeland Saga. So I actually have held back for quite some time in purchasing volumes of Vindeland Saga, specifically because, well, it's just really expensive. And keep in mind, when I say expensive, that's not me being critical. I mean, these are $20 a pop retail price, which I think, I mean, if you look at how thick these boys are, that is appropriate. And the art is really stinking good. I mean, there's a lot of ink that goes into these books. So I personally think that the price is fair. It's just that because they are expensive, I typically don't buy these volumes. So I wait for a sale or for an opportune moment. Thank you, RightStuf. So this covers the end of what people famously call the farm arc. And you know what? Gotta say, really good friend of mine told me, he's like, don't listen to the haters. Enjoy that farm arc. It's the best the series has got. And you know what? He's right. It's the best the series has got. It's so, so good. Now, I'm not going to talk about the specifics of the farm arc because I don't want to spoil it for people who haven't read Vinland Saga, but here's my one complaint, my one criticism. So the whole moral, the theme, the message you can learn from Vinland Saga is that violence begets violence. That violence does not put an end to suffering, it only creates more suffering, which I think is a very positive message. I think that's awesome. The problem is that Vinland Saga rejoices in violence and loves showing violent content. I mean, think about Thorkel in previous volumes. You know, he's swinging dudes around and lopping off heads, and it's some of the best the manga's got. So you have the manga saying one thing and showing another. So again, though, this is me nitpicking. I mean, I don't think the author is really trying to drive home some fantastic moral. I think this is just him telling a story, and personally, I think it's great, it's worthwhile, it's definitely worth your cash if you can afford it, but that's just a little nitpick I have. And by the way, I love this character. This character that's featured on book 8, she's a great addition to the manga, and if you've read this volume, you know why. She's super cool. I love her. I would have loved her as a kid, by the way. Not that I would have recommended that I read this as a kid. Yeah, this is mature for a reason, guys. Older teens and up. Please, please, please. Older teens and up. Do not give this to the children. Message is good, but no. Thank you so much for watching this video, and as always, please include what you've been reading these past few months below in the comments. Special shout out to RightStuf. You guys are awesome. It was cool working with you, and it was so, so nice to be able to buy more Vinland Saga. And not only that, but to know that it was going to come in a nice, secure package. Like, oh, bless up. And for everybody else, I hope that you've been staying sane in this absolutely turbulent and crazy year. It has been a wild ride, hasn't it? Until next time, this is CJ, signing off.